Welcome to Uniquely Loved, a celebration of authenticity and divine inspiration. Hello, my loves. And today I get the pleasure to introduce to you Theodora Pendragon. Now, she holds a master's degree in counseling and human services from the State University of New York and Oswego. She has extensive experience as a therapist and program manager in various settings, nonprofit agencies, residential treatment centers, and military facilities. Now, Theodora has a full time independent private practice in Texas, providing a wide range of services to diverse populations. In an effort to debunk misinformation and misconceptions about pagans, witches, witchcraft, and our wonderful world of magic, Theodora hosts a podcast called Witchcasting with Theodora Pendragon. And she is the author of an amazing book called Taking the Flight Out of the Broom Closet. Theodora, welcome so much to today's show.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor.
Oh, I am looking forward to this chat because I love helping shift perspectives on, well, everything. There's always so much we have to unlearn when we start delving into who we are and, all the different things that we're passionate about.
Absolutely. And not only do we have to unlearn things, but we have to help other people unlearn.
That could be so difficult too. Now, you live in Texas, which, by my experience, has not been the most open minded of places. how how is it there with you and your practice and everything?
It's been an interesting challenge. I do live in the Bible Belt and I live out in the country, which is a very Christian community. So when people are looking for a therapist, quite often they call and ask if I'm a Christian counselor. Now, they are looking for one of two answers. Yes, I am, and I can help them. Or no, I'm not. And oh, thank you so much. That's exactly what I was looking for. Now, I'm not a Christian. I used to be many years ago. But when I tell them I'm not a Christian counselor and they're looking for one, I do refer them to my colleagues. And because they're looking for someone who's like minded, just like I like being around people who are like minded. But usually, when the people call and they're not looking for a Christian counselor, there's relief. Oh, good, because I don't want someone to judge me. And that's what I get quite often.
Oh, wow. Uh, so, yeah, and I get it here too. I'm in Virginia, and the fear of, being judged is definitely a hurdle we have to get over, or at least work through. I'm still working through that one. But when we find our like-minded people, or even people who are open and curious to, hey, I never knew that, it it's a relief.
It is a relief. And I enjoy talking to people like that because they're open and they want to learn, just like I like to learn about other people.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
My journey. Should I start from childhood?
Where would you like to start?
Well, my magical journey started when I was a little girl in the 1960s, and my favorite TV show was Bewitched, which is, if people don't know, an American sitcom television series from the 1960s. And I was so fascinated with Samantha Stevens. I wanted to be just like her. So I told my mom, when I grow up, I want to be a witch, just like Samantha Stevens. And my mother said, "There's no such thing as witches. They're only on television." But you know what? We're not just on television, we're everywhere. We are next door neighbors, we are teachers. We come from all walks of life. But going back to my journey, My mother was Catholic, my father was Lutheran, and there was a constant battle between the two of them of which religion was the better religion. So this was really confusing as a child. Which religion is the better religion? Well, is there a better religion? I don't think so. But I found my own journey sometime in middle school when I started reading books. And it started with astrology. And then it opened up to tarot reading. And then I met other people who were interested in all of that. And I met a few adults who told me they were witches. And I was so fascinating. Wow, she's a witch. And I just thought that was so amazing. So that's how it started. I joined the military when I was 19 years old, and I had a roommate who was a witch. The day I moved into her room, which was, of course, going to be my room, she kind of warned me. She just put it out there and she says, "Now I'm a witch." And I said, "Well, you're what?" And so she explained, and I said, "I think I am too."
That is so cool. So, was she able to help teach you a lot of the different ways, or at least how she practiced?
She did, and she was a traditional witch, which I found very fascinating because it was normal in her family.
Okay, that's
Mhm,
amazing.
mhm. So
So,
it was like I idolized her, and I thought she was just so fortunate, so much more fortunate than I was.
I'm trying to keep everything open for my girls, so they can delve into, whatever interests them as it interests them. So it's just, it's refreshing to actually see other people just be completely open and willing to share.
And, I don't care at this point in my life if people think I'm weird. Okay, if you think I'm weird, I'll wear that name.
Weird is just another way of saying limited edition or awesome. Hello.
Unique.
Yes. And we're all unique, anyways. We all have different passions and interests. Some of us like to delve into what empowers us.
And, being authentic is what empowers us.
And you were able to take something that you were interested as a child that you already knew you were passionate about and explore that as an adult and bring that into everyday life. And that's awesome.
It is awesome.
So what would you like to tell anybody who is maybe just trying to figure out they're just starting their journey? Where would you suggest somebody starts?
Find your community. We have power in numbers. We don't want to be alone. Nobody wants to be alone. We need our tribe.
I
So
think
think of us. So think of us. Each one of us is like a snowflake, very delicate and unique. Yet when we all come together, we have the power to create a winter wonderland of adventure. So think about the solitary witch as a delicate snowflake. The snowflake, the witch, is very beautiful. But when we all merge together, we have greater acceptance. When we express ourselves freely and honestly, the outside world will change as a result. Fortunate for us with the internet, we have so many more opportunities than we did 20, 30, 50 years ago.
yeah, I'm honestly I'm still trying to find all of my soul family.
And I think that's a never ending journey. We're always looking for people that we connect to,
Hmm.
building our community. But yeah, there's a lot of fear as far as coming out of the closet, fear of rejection, especially with those close to us, like friends and family, because we have an emotional bank account with those people.
Hmm. Could you tell everyone about your book? Because we're crossing that threshold already, and that's just a perfect segue.
My book is called Taking the Flight Out of the Broom Closet. I decided to write the book when I was at a ritual. And at this ritual, the high priestess announced that we should not take pictures because not everyone is out of the broom closet. And I thought, here I am among my people, and we can't even take pictures because some of us are in the broom closet. As a therapist, I've helped many people come out of the rainbow closet. And it was at that moment I thought, I have a closet too. And I've been in and out of that closet. That was the moment I decided to write the book. I interviewed over 100 people. And out of those 100 people, I chose 36 to share their story in the book. And they all share how they came out of the closet or why they did not come out of the closet. They come from all walks of life, both male and female, and all in between. And they all have a beautiful story. When we read these stories, we can relate to some of them and say, yeah, that's me. I remember when that happened to me. Oh, I should take this person's advice.
That is beautiful. I know there's still some instances where I'm sheltering a little more of my light and who I am when I'm around them, just so I'm not creating an uncomfortable vibe, I guess. I had the same issues when I went completely sober. And it's like, oh, I can't really talk about my sobriety with people because, I'll make them uncomfortable because, people judge or get triggered. And it's the same way when we're open with our, who and how we are, regardless of who and how we are, whether it be magic or style or flair. People are going to find something to talk about.
They
And
are.
that's just something that we can learn to let go of. And that can be very difficult,
But did you
especially.
notice
Oh,
but
go ahead.
did you notice that but did you notice that every time you talked about your sobriety, it became easier and easier?
It did. And that was surprising. I was actually surprised how much acceptance I had, even from friends and family who were still, drinking a lot and didn't have a problem with it because they were probably more healthy than I was. And that's okay. And it's been somewhat similar with my journey for, being open as a pagan or an omniist as well. Um, at least with those really, really close to me, they've been more accepting than I expected. And then others, we just don't talk about it because my family, we don't talk about a lot of different things. Some
Right,
things
there are a
just
lot of
happen.
elephants that people don't talk about, and that's okay.
Yep.
We have to pick and choose our battles.
Yes. Yes. And you help people do that and navigate all those different little obstacles or even really big obstacles. That's amazing.
Yes. And the biggest issue is fear, fear of the unknown. How are they going to react? And oftentimes we think about the worst case scenario, but how often does that really happen?
not as often as we expect it to. At least that's been my case.
I agree. And it can be liberating to finally just say, hey, this is who I am.
And you have a wonderful podcast that helps people do that and get educated on various topics within the magical community.
Yes, it's called Witch Casting with Theodora Pendragon.
Where can people find that?
It is available wherever podcasts are streamed. Do you want to
Awesome.
hear how I decided to start the podcast?
Yes, please.
I was at a book signing, it was at a festival. I had just published my book a few months previous to that date. And at this festival, there was this fascinating tarot reader there. And she was very busy. A long line of people were going to her. So I knew she was probably fantastic. I went to her at the end of the day, and her message to me was, you need to use your voice. You're not using your voice. I said, yeah, I'm using my voice. I always use my voice. I tell it like it is. I'm verbal. I'm blunt. She says, no, you haven't found your purpose. Your purpose is in your voice. And I said, well, I don't understand. She said, you'll figure it out. The very next morning, I woke up, and the first thing that popped in my head was, I have to do a podcast. That's it. It's a podcast, just like the book, to debunk misconceptions and misinformation about witches.
That
So
is
that's
awesome.
my purpose.
That is great because you're in an area. Ooh, excuse me. You're in an area that often, well, a lot of people don't talk about being empowered with magic or, well, anything pagan or anything mystical. And you're giving a voice to them as well as your own beliefs. And that is phenomenal.
It is. And I wear jewelry and clothing to show who I am. Like, for example, when I go to the gym, I wear shirts that say, kiss me, I'm a witch, that kind of thing. Or a picture of a big tarot card that says the deadlifter. And it's amazing how people are fascinated, but in a very positive way. Well, they know who I am now. They know I'm a little woo woo, and, I think they love me for it.
You probably have way more people that you have influenced and impacted than you realize who love you for everything that you do.
Oh, that would be so wonderful. That would make my heart happy knowing that.
What is one of your favorite myths to debunk? Or do you have one?
Ah,
There's so
that
many,
we
I know.
eat babies. I actually opened up an online shop a few months ago.
Hmm.
So I'm always creating these designs that help debunk information or just shed some humor. And there's one that I created. It comes in a t-shirt and a mug, and it's a witch holding a baby. And it says, I love babies, but I don't think I could eat a whole one.
Oh my gosh. We got to bring humor to everything, anyways, because, well, adulting is hard and we already have so much that's serious regardless. So making it more lighthearted and fun can actually open a whole lot of doors.
Yes. And the other one is about the devil, how we worship the devil. And I'll say, well, I don't know how you can worship something you don't believe in. And like, you don't "You don't believe the devil is real?" I said, "No, I think he's kind of like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus."
Oh man. Have you had people just keep on with that thread with you and try to talk about like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and the devil and all of that, or is it more just shock and then they walk away?
More like shock, shut up, and or walk away.
Mm,
I recently went to a women's luncheon and we were all talking about what we do. When it was my turn, I told them about the podcast and what it was about. And one of the ladies appeared to be very upset. She didn't say anything except, "I have to leave." And she left. But everybody around her noticed that what I was talking about made her feel very uncomfortable.
mm-hmm.
But she missed an opportunity to wait until I finished talking about what it was about, and then she could have asked questions.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they're confronted with something that challenges their beliefs, they either shut down or go into the whole fear of the unknown and back away, um, or go belligerent. I've had that happen to me too.
Oh,
Yeah, you get trolls. Trolls are everywhere, unfortunately, especially with the internet. Um, Learned really quickly when I first started my business not to let them get to me and not to engage. It's like, nope, just block.
exactly, exactly, because they enjoy that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And my husband likes to feed them sometimes. He grew up Catholic and he still identifies as Catholic, but he's open to everything that I am. He's participated in rituals and everything, and he'll throw the Bible verses that they spew right back at them. Um it's like, okay, you're saying this, but you're ignoring all of that. Now what you got? And that usually just I don't know. I've had to tell him to stop that too because it just kind of feeds into it. And it's like I wouldn't mind going viral at one point, but not for that. Let's do it for something more compassionate.
We have to decide where we wanna put our energy.
Hmm. Yeah, and we can't be feeding the fear.
No. That's why I think it's fun to use humor.
Humor is amazing. I'm definitely gonna have to check out your store. Can you tell us the name of it and where to find it?
It's called witchcasting.shop. So instead of .com, it's .shop.
Okay.
Witchcasting.shop.
I'm definitely going to be having all your links in the description for the episode. So, y'all, you can just scroll down a little bit and click on whichever one you want to go to or check them all out.
And if you want to find the podcast, if you don't have a favorite streaming service, you can go to my website and it has all the episodes listed, and that's witchcasting.com.
Excellent. Now, is there anything that you would recommend to somebody just starting out and, well, maybe wanting to try their first spell?
Their first spell. Well, it's always fun to do a money spell.
Yeah, definitely. I love those.
I do too. Do not do a love spell.
Why not?
Well, first of all, it takes away someone's free will. And what if you don't get rid of them?
Have you seen that in action?
I've seen it.
Yikes.
I've seen that. It's like, "Oh, no, 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 this is not what I wanted." "Oh, yeah, that's what you asked for. That's what you asked for."
So, in other words, be very, very clear with the intentions and don't take away somebody's free will.
The best love spell is do a love spell for yourself.
I've done those. I love doing self love spells just because. I don't know, in my experience anyways, there's so many times where I never felt like I belonged or that I was, loved. I always felt like I was bothering the people I was around. So when I started opening up myself and doing the work, the self love spells helped me expand and realize, hey, no, I am loved. I am accepted and I can
Right.
love me.
And we have to come first because if we don't love ourselves, we're going to attract the wrong people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely true. Any recommendation for where to start for somebody who's wanting to maybe work on their self-love?
You know, there's a lot of power in knowledge. Read, read, read. I'm a big proponent of self help books, they're very empowering.
Mhm. Definitely. And adding your book into that list can also be extremely empowering.
I believe so. And there are parts in the book where I take a therapeutic approach in the first half of the book and I give advice on how to communicate with people.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the second half is all the stories that I mentioned earlier. And we can learn from other people. And when you meet people in your community, ask them what worked and what didn't work.
That's a really good idea because there's so many different types of spells and types of modalities for healing and whatnot out there. And finding what resonates for us is it's liberating.
It is. And on Instagram, there are so many fascinating witches who show us how to do spells. So look for those people because they're very interesting.
Excellent, excellent advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to tell the listeners?
Just do you. Don't worry about anybody else because people will drop out of your life, but new people will come into your life to fill those vacant parking spots, so to speak. And you're going to attract the right people. My community has grown tremendously in the last 10 or 15 years. Beyond belief.
That is outstanding. Thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for being here.
It's been an honor being on your show. Thank you so much.